The story begins in the dark, tense shadows of power. Nopline, a man blinded by his own arrogance and his sister's ambition, is confronted by his servant with the grim remnants of their rivals. This gruesome display marks the beginning of the chaos that follows as they prepare for a rise to power that leaves no room for mercy or moral decay. At the royal palace in Arcadina, intrigue runs deep. Connor, believing his mother's grand plans are finally reaching their fruition after 12 long years, exudes pride. He is the mother's shining star, ready to seize destiny, unaware of the volatile and dangerous web of secrets that surrounds their family. James stands in a courtyard, a bitter young man who has learned the harsh reality of palace life. To win, one must shed all sentimentality. When his mother approaches with lingering affection, he rejects her with sharp words, viewing her weakness as a liability that threatens his cold, calculating path to success. The capital is alive with festivity, forced into a hollow celebration for the king's 45th birthday. Alec, the tyrant at the center of this storm, basks in the sycophantic praise of his subjects, oblivious to the fact that his kingdom is a powder keg waiting for a spark to ignite the flames of revolution. Even in the sanctuary of the palace, there is no peace. The royal women, submerged in a bath of milk and lavender, descend into a vicious catfight, their vanity and jealousy overriding any sense of decorum. It is a spectacle of petty hatred, a foreshadowing of the final reckoning to come. As the capital prepares for the main event, the chess pieces are moving. Illy, poised and cautious, enters the city with a group of aides, his eyes scanning for any sign of betrayal. He walks into the lion's den, confident that his disguise will keep his true intentions hidden from his father's prying eyes. The grand hall is a theater of social posturing. Nobles scramble for favor and status, while the royal children watch each other with daggers in their eyes. Carrie tries to conceal her shame from a recent fight, but the air is thick with tension as everyone prepares for the king's grand entrance. The ceremony takes a startling turn when Duke Winchester presents a gift that defies belief, a golden watch from the mysterious empire of Baymard. Alec, a man who has ruled with fear, is captivated by the tiny, ticking miracle, not realizing that this object heralds the rise of his cast-off son, Landon Barn. The revelation hits the hall like a lightning bolt. Landon Barn, the illegitimate son once denounced and discarded as a failure, is the architect of a new, advanced empire. Laughter quickly dies, replaced by a chilling silence as the truth of Landon's hidden genius begins to dawn on those who bullied him. Alec's fury knows no bounds. The realization that his son played him like a fool for years turns his world upside down. He demands answers from those who taught Landon, lashing out in a desperate attempt to regain his dignity, while the entire room watches his performative remorse with hidden contempt. In the cold shadows of the palace, the princes prepare for their final strike. James, consumed by the need to prove he is not a weakling, plots to kill his father. He views this parricide not just as a path to the throne, but as the only way to escape the shadow of the brother he once despised. While James readies his sword, Illy orchestrates his own complex game. He charms a gullible noblewoman, using her as a pawn to secure his position before he slips away into the night. His plan is calculated and precise, a sharp contrast to the reckless aggression of his brother James. The moment of truth arrives on the dark road. James steps out of the shadows, ready to commit his ultimate sin, but he finds his father unmoved and prepared. The arrogance of the son meets the ruthless, long-honed survival instincts of the tyrant in a confrontation that will change everything. The battle is short and savage. Alec, showing no mercy for his offspring, brutally humbles James before ending his life. As James slips away, his final thoughts are not of his failed ambitions, but of his mother, a moment of profound and tragic clarity as the heir of the Hertfillian line falls. In the darkness, a mother's heart is shattered. Arcadina is held back, forced to watch the cold, systematic disposal of her only son. Her grief curdles into a singular, burning purpose: vengeance against the husband who discarded her children like waste. The palace will soon learn the true meaning of a woman scorned. While the capital burns with political violence, the empire of Baymard thrives in the sunlight. Landon stands before his greatest achievement yet, a fleet of metallic cruisers that will change the world. He prepares for the arrival of new soldiers, unaware that the Game of Thrones is about to reach his own doorstep. Penelope Thalard arrives in Baymard, expecting a simple visit, but she finds a world that defies her understanding. The sheer scale and brilliance of the cruisers leave the war-hardened woman breathless. For the first time in her life, she feels a sense of awe that challenges everything she thought she knew. The audience with the King of Baymard begins. Penelope, despite her initial skepticism, is humbled by the environment Landon has created. There is no trace of the filth or stench found in other palaces, only efficiency, light, and purpose. It is a meeting that promises to bridge the gap between two empires. The formal meeting turns into an unexpected test of skill. Penelope, wanting to see if the rumors about Landon's power are true, challenges him to a bout. She discovers that he is not just a master of industry, but a warrior who moves with a precision she has never encountered before. Defeat does not anger Penelope, it earns her respect. The fight solidifies a new understanding between them, one forged not just in diplomacy, but in mutual recognition of strength. Landon calls her sister-in-law, a small gesture that marks the beginning of a powerful alliance against the old, decaying world. The reality of training hits the Coronian soldiers like a hammer. The ease of their old lives is stripped away, replaced by the relentless, organized discipline of the Baymardian barracks. For men accustomed to slack, the transition is a shock, and every second lost is a lesson paid for in pain. Discipline is the bedrock of Baymard's power, and it is taught through the harshest of teachers. When the soldiers stumble, the officers are there to remind them that fear is not an excuse. It is a weakness to be overcome. The barracks become a furnace, forging weak men into soldiers worthy of their name. For Penelope, the training is not a punishment, but a revelation. She sees the potential in her people to be more, to reach standards she once thought impossible. She embraces the rigor, pushing herself harder than any of her men, leading by example as the dawn of a new era approaches. Landon watches his new students with satisfaction. He knows the road ahead is perilous, but with every drill, every class, and every shared hardship, he is building a force capable of standing against the tyrants of old. The first step has been taken, and the world will never be the same again. But shadows still loom on the horizon. Miles away, conspirators gather, nursing their grievances and pooling their resources for an assault on Baymard. They see the prosperity and progress of this land not as a gift, but as a prize to be stolen, completely unaware of the iron will that awaits them. The conspiracy grows, fueled by barrels of volatile snow powder and the arrogance of men who believe they can crush progress with force. They march toward their own destruction, blinded by greed and a failure to recognize that they are not invading a city, but challenging the future itself. The stage is set. In the capital, a king mourns his dead son and plots his next move. In Baymard, a young leader builds his army and his legacy. The path forward is paved with both innovation and inevitable conflict, as the two worlds prepare to collide in a final, decisive war. Baymard stands as a beacon of order and prosperity in a land of chaos. From the clean streets to the advanced technology, every detail reflects a vision of a better life. The people believe in their king, and their faith is the strongest shield against the encroaching darkness of those who wish to burn it all. The soldiers, once aimless and divided, have begun to move as one. Penelope leads them with newfound intensity, turning them into a cohesive unit that understands the value of their cause. The transformation is profound, and they are now ready to face whatever threats come from the outside world. The Bay-Coronian transportation route is a symbol of Landon's ambition. These ships will carry not just goods, but the ideas and ideals of a new world, spreading the influence of Baymard across the continent. It is a bold leap, one that demands courage, and Landon Barn is more than prepared for the task. As the curtain falls on this chapter, the world stands on the brink of change. The old powers rot from within, consumed by their own decadence, while Baymard grows stronger every day. The revolution has begun, and the story of Landon Barn is only just starting to unfold, destined to rewrite history forever.